Hi, hello, my name is Gabio, and welcome to Short Positive Review, where this week we're talking about Angels Before Man by Rafael Nicolás. So this might be a little bit different for a short positive review, but I feel like I'm saying this every single time I'm recording, so who knows. So let's start immediately because I have a really good piece that I'm really excited to talk about later on. I'm really happy with that painting and I want to talk about it, but before then, here is about Angels Before Man. The structure of this short positive review will indeed have to be a bit different simply by the fact that Angels Before Man is the story of Lucifer. So if you know anything about the Bible, I'm not religious at all. I've never been really religious. I've never had that connection, I guess. But even if you live in the Americas, you and most of Europe, let's be honest, you have at least a very good understanding of what Lucifer's story is, and this book is the retelling of Lucifer's creation and subsequent fall through the lens of Lucifer as our protagonist, and I fucking loved it. So I've talked about it last year when I did my House Followed With Us review, but I have a very weird niche that these two books fall perfectly into. There's something about a very compelling religious theme and or story. So Angels Before Man is the story of Lucifer. Hell Followed With Us, which is a completely different book, but they stand in the same category, where in that one it's a kid, Benji, who through religious trauma becomes an angel basically. And these two stories have Christians and religious themes, but the book, without being anti-religion, uses these themes almost as a horror trope, and there's something that I love about that concept of using religion as horror, and I really think that this stems from my love of art history. I've done a lot of thinking about why religion is so compelling to me in these stories, and I really do think that it's because I know a lot about it through osmosis, of course, but also through art history, and that is so interesting to me. Once again, this part is without spoilers, and I'll let you know when you need to quit, but I'm gonna tell you, you really need to read this book. It's a fairly quick read. There's been a re-release that came out a couple of weeks ago at the time of recording this, maybe a month, and there's a second book that comes out supposedly next year. I'm fucking excited. It's also the thing that the author is self-publishing for the most part, and so he really needs the support, and I really recommend you reading this book because it is so very delectable. But let's start without spoilers. So the book opens on Lucifer's creation. So when Lucifer comes to, he's in paradise, everything is perfect, like paradise that we've been told. These angels in which he's surrounded by have their own communities and their own jobs. They're builders, a lot of them, but he comes really quickly friends with his roommate, what will become his roommate, which is the angel of fruits, and his whole job is to pick up fruits. And so the first third of the book is Lucifer trying to figure out, what is he the angel of? What is his purpose? Why was he created? And it's so compelling. The way Lucifer is written is so very excellent. I'll talk about it a bit more in the spoilers part. But so he's trying to figure out what angel he is, and during that time we hear of a mysterious figure, well, not so mysterious, but mysterious figure in the world of these angels, of the archangels. So he met Gabriel and Uriel. All of them are speaking about Michael, and that's the one that really tickles his interests. And he's trying to talk to archangels because he wants to meet God. He wants to go to Earth. He wants to understand the world in which he's living in. And so he tries to get close to Uriel and to Gabriel. But it's when Michael comes back from an expedition on Earth that Lucifer falls heads over heels, and it is reciprocal. So then the second part of the book is mostly the relation blooming, Lucifer growing and trying to figure out what is expected of him through this relationship, and it is so very compelling. So before I go into the spoilers part, Angels Before Man is the character study of Lucifer through millennia and through multiple traumatic experiences that makes him grow as an angel. It goes through every beat that you know from Lucifer's story, but in a very interesting way, and in a way that you're like, fuck, I didn't want that to happen. And it does, and it sucks, and I love it so much. This book is full of gay angels. It's full of it has this big underlying gender thing going on, which I really appreciated. If you don't know what I mean, I'm sorry, but good luck. It was so beautiful. The way it was written was so pretty. The characters were really well defined. If you're a fan of theology, if you like angels like I do, if you like the concept of religion used as like a trope for horror, I beg you to read that book. It's really fucking good. And now let's go on to the more spoilery part. So what I was itching to say in the non-spoilery part is that this is like the character study of someone who sees no other way than to become a villain. I don't think Lucifer is a villain in this, but I think that when we were a kid, or when we are told theology a lot, we're told that like the whole thing is that Lucifer thinks that he's a better god than God, and so he wants to dethrone him, and that's why he's so bad, is because he has too much pride. But the way this story is told, the pride that Lucifer feels in that fucking book is all something that people told him to have. He did not have pride. At the beginning of the book, he's so humble, and it's after multiple talks, especially with Michael, that he is pushed into that corner of, you need to feel pride. You are the angel of worship, because that's what he is. Like, Lucifer in that story is being expressively told that he's the angel of worship. His role is to be the most beautiful angel and to convince people to worship God. That's his express purpose. And he's been told by multiple angels, including his lover, because Michael is his lover, as close as they are ever gonna be, that he needs to feel pride in that this is the most powerful thing he can be, and that is perfect. And God makes him suffer because of it. An aspect that I really liked about this book is that when Lucifer disagrees with God, or runs away from God, or tries to like not respect his boundaries, is when he's being the most human, which I really appreciated the way it was written. Like, he's not going to see God to worship because he's trying to spend time with his boyfriend, or he wants to spend time with friends. And there's a specific part in the book that Lucifer keeps not respecting what God wants of him, and that's towards the 2/3 of the book, I'd say. And it is so heartbreaking to see Lucifer, because we are through Lucifer's thought process, and it makes sense. God is a jealous God, and he hates that Lucifer and Michael are creating something. They are doing the job that God should be doing. And Lucifer loves Michael. He says expressively in the book that he is the angel of Michael. I am the angel of worship and the angel of Michael. And God hates that. And trigger warning for sexual assault, but that one scene where God rapes Lucifer is heartbreaking. The change in demeanor and of everything that Lucifer feels from then on, the breach of trust, the how could I ever love someone who did that to me? How am I supposed to convince people to love that man? Well, that entity, but those feelings that Lucifer has to battle with of, my job is to make the people, my friends, love this creature, this entity, my father, who raped me? And so, because of the way this story is told and the incredible way in which the author structures it, makes it so that when Lucifer falls, you are right there with him. When Lucifer decides, oh, we're gonna create something, we are now the angel of creation, fuck God, we are doing our own thing, you're right there with him. The last act of the book is like fucking heartbreaking to me. I loved every second of it, but I was in fucking shambles. Like, imagine. Sorry, I'm talking like you've read the book, and I'm gonna suppose that you have, and I don't know, I feel like I'm going off right now. It's insane to me how well that book was structured, because at the third act, when Lucifer decides that he has enough and he's gonna become the new king, and he hopes that Michael is going to be right there with him. And then Michael basically breaks up with him, which pushes him deeper into his volition. It's heartbreaking. It fucking sucks. I loved it so much. And then there's so many aspects to this book that are so well done. Like the way he decides to create an orgy, and well, the way first he tries to fuck Michael. He tries to convince Michael that this is something that he would love, like Lucifer would love, and Michael does not understand and feels uncomfortable and runs away. Is always a moment of like, it sucks because there is a very clear way that you can read this as Lucifer truly feeling like the god that did that to him. And it's very interesting to see how the thought process after is that Lucifer feels bad and he wants to apologize and to reclaim Michael as his lover, he's trying to show him that he can create something new. Like the sins that were created at the end, it was such a good scene. So there is a pretty big orgy at the end of the book that is very interesting, that's very good. Well, good, I mean, it's very exploration, because even Lucifer feels gross. Like, Lucifer gets out of it, and he's like, he didn't enjoy the experience, really. Some people did, but he did not. He feels a bit gross, and then he gets out of it, and he convinces the angel that were corrupted by him to kill each other, to reclaim paradise, to destroy. And in his idea of the world, they need to destroy because they need to rebuild. And it's so compelling. I know I keep saying that, but the way this is written is so compelling. And it's really this kind of book that I read the info letter about it, and I agree a lot that I don't know if this book would have been as good if it was like trad published. It's so immensely unique in the way that it is told, and it is so heartbreaking and like queer. I don't know how to explain it except that it is a very fucking queer book. It comes from the heart, and I fucking love it. The ending of the book is, it hurts. The theme that I really like too is that in the third act of the book, Lucifer starts talking to his other faces, which I'm pretty sure is something that was like popularized a lot by Dante's Inferno, but a concept that Lucifer has 3 heads, and it's so well done. It's so like interesting. And then at the very end, when God banishes him with the help of Michael is the one who fucking banishes him from paradise. It hurts. It hurts, it really does. And the last few lines describe Earth. He's in Inferno, in hell, but it's Earth. Side part, when they explore Earth throughout the book and there's dinosaurs, and then at the end, Lucifer is the meteorite that killed the dinosaurs. It was such a clever, fun interpretation. I don't know, I really liked it. Sorry, that's just a side quest, but I really, really liked it. And then it says that people adored Lucifer, and Lucifer loved them better than God could, even in hell. And then there's all of the side characters, like Gabriel, that's trying to warn everyone about Lucifer. There's fucking Roger, that like that whole arc where a head gets cut off because they don't understand what sin and violence is. It's so compelling. It's so good. Anyway, read that book. I really, really fucking recommend it. It's so good. And now I want to talk a bit about this piece because I spent fucking 60 hours on it, and I'm so happy with it. So this illustration started off really early on. I really wanted to have like, there's a scene in the book where Lucifer gets, like, after the very intense trauma that he gets by God, he impales himself, like, because of the guilt, and he's discovering what sin is and what hurt is. And I thought it was a very compelling part, although it hurts and it sucked. I thought it was a very compelling part, especially if you reframe it at the end of the book. I'm pretty sure he would, like, do it differently, knowing that he can't really die from it. And I thought it was a very interesting image. It's also reflective of a Baroque painting, I believe, that I'm gonna post here, of a woman impaling herself with a sword, and I thought that was a cool reference. So I decided to do that, but he's smiling upon the sins. There's so many things that I loved about this piece. Behind, it's the sins that Lucifer created. So on the right, it's lust and sexuality, and on the left, it is violence and death. Those are seen through the eyes of God on this piece. I decided that that cyan color would be what represents God, and the pink and red represents Lucifer. The other thing that I really, really appreciated about, like, I'm gushing, but something that I want to be known is that there are 2 lights sources in that picture. So there's the eyes of God that are behind, that are in blue, but there's also the yellow, like, sun that is also God in my head. That was kind of meant for myself to represent that God is everywhere and that he's always looking at Lucifer. I also made Lucifer's halo dark because I think it's very compelling. Multiple wings, multiple beautiful ornaments all over his body. I'm very, very happy with this piece. It's probably my favorite piece I've ever done, and I really hope you like it. So that was it for Angels Before Man, which I fucking love. It's probably my favorite book of the year. Last year was Hell Followed With Us, so I'm guessing that it checks out. I'm very excited to read the republished version, also to read the follow-up next year. I'm super excited. And yeah, I don't have a lot else to say. I'm working on other pieces. There's no big update. I'm just I keep working, I keep doing art. Thanks a lot for coming in around, and see you next time.